What's up everybody, Tommy Bennett here, and today I'm gonna teach you guys how to do a backside 360, but more of the off-season slash at home kind of video. Now, why this is awesome for you. Let's say you're snowboarding right now, you wanna learn a 360, well, you can start with these steps and this progression at home so you can take these skills and drills to the mountain. Pretty awesome. Let's say that you're not snowboarding right now and there's no resorts open. Well, you can use this progression, start getting a lot of practice, repetition, and refine your movements as much as possible. Build your confidence before you ever get on the hill. So if you're digging the content at any point during this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If I miss any single step, definitely leave a comment down below. Let's get right into it, guys. I'm excited for this one. This is gonna be fun. So before we ever jump on our snowboard, I do want to define a couple body positions as well as understand the movement before we make it more harder than it needs to be, especially if this is your first backside 360 you've ever learned. So I'm gonna get rid of this thing for now. Gotta put it on the couch. So with your snowboard off, the first thing I want you to do is understand a couple body positions. So what I'd like you to do is get in this stance, and you could totally follow along with me as you're watching the video. So get in this stance, your lead shoulder is pointed down the hill. For me, it's gonna be pointing down at the camera. And then I wanna get my weight distributed evenly between both of my ankle, knees, and hips so I'm nice and centered, okay? Now, the biggest thing that we gotta understand when it comes to a 360 is that our lower body has a different job than our upper body. For example, to be more specific, our lower body is in charge of giving us amplitude or giving us air. Now, obviously if you're hitting a jump, we're gonna still use our legs, but the jump is gonna assist us, right? We're kind of working together. So what I want us to first start with is just simply jumping. Now, as we jump, I want my chest to stay as relatively tall as possible. What that's gonna do is allow us to jump more in a vertical plane. If I have my hips back and my chest forward and I jump, I naturally am jumping forward, and I'm trying to avoid that, especially on a snowboard. So shoulders, knees, and hips are stacked. My tailbone is pointed straight down to the ground, and now I'm in this more stacked position. Now I'm gonna jump. You can test this by drawing a line on the ground or putting a piece of tape, and are you jumping straight up, straight down? That's gonna be step number one. Once I'm able to feel comfortable about that, I wanna make sure that I'm able to absorb the impact as well. So I'm jumping and making sure that when I land, I'm bending my ankle, knees, and hips with the chest relatively vertical, and I'm able to sink my bum down to absorb the impact. I am not absorbing that impact by sticking my hips back and my chest forward like this. What will happen is when we get on snow, my weight is gonna cause me to go over my toes, and that could easily mean that I simply fall over. So we're gonna avoid that. So, like I said, your legs are gonna help us explode and get a lot of force. We still wanna use our legs and extend away from the snow, whether we're going off of a park jump, whether it's a side hit, or it's flat ground. When you're able to pop, you're gonna have a lot more control of your trick versus if you're super passive, you're not sure what's gonna happen, you're not sure how the jump is gonna kick you, and you're on a roller coaster that you're not in charge of. Not that fun. I like to be in control of my snowboarding so I can dictate exactly what's gonna happen. So that's our lower body. So next we're gonna get into what does the upper body do? Well, the upper body is in charge of actually giving us our 360. When I say open your lead shoulder, that does not mean open your arm. Notice that my lead shoulder has not rotated, but a lot of people will throw a 360 by just simply moving their arm and doing this, but my shoulders have not gone anywhere. So when I say open your lead shoulder, I actually want you to rotate through your spine. So your spine is rotating. Notice that my lead shoulder is open, but my back shoulder is also followed. If I were to just do this, you can't see both the whole front side of my body. So doing this. Now, when we throw a backside 360, what I like to do as a general rule is I like to open my shoulder about the same amount every time, whether I do a 180, a 360, a 540, or a 720. When I go beyond 720, I may change it a little bit. When I open my lead shoulder, it's about 35 degrees open. Now, if I want to distinguish a 180 versus 360 versus 540, it's how hard I throw it. So with this thought process, if you guys are able to dial in how much you open and then you throw, and how hard you throw it determines a different outcome, makes it a lot more simple to be able to do a 180, a 360, or a 540. Imagine every time I do a different trick, I'm doing different things with my shoulder. It makes it really hard to be consistent. So to go back through, I'm opening my lead shoulder about 35 degrees, and then I throw in the opposite direction. So as you spin the first 90 degrees, my backside is going to be facing the landing, or you guys, and that's how we distinguish backside versus frontside. Backside, I'm going this direction, but you're seeing my backside is going to the landing first. Front side would be the first 90 degrees. My front side of my body is facing downhill. So it gets a little confusing, so I hope I was able to simplify that. All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt real quick and let you guys know that I do have an online snowboard course. So if you're interested in progressing your snowboarding faster, overcoming some fear and mental hurdles, just like I have, and you wanna be an overall better snowboarder, consider buying the course. It is on sale right now, so make sure you guys go check that out down below. Now that we've gotten all the nerd out of the way, let's combine the extension of our legs and the rotation of our shoulders to do a simple backside 180 to start with. So I'm gonna open my lead shoulder, I'm gonna bend my knees. As I extend my knees, I'm gonna throw my shoulder. Boom, see how I was able to rotate a 180 pretty simply, pretty awesome. Next, instead of going straight to a 360, let's actually do a 270 so that we can show control, show ownership, and build your confidence along the way. So my lead shoulder is open up. I'm gonna have to throw my shoulders a tad bit harder and look where I'm going a little bit more. So I actually want my eyes to look over my back shoulder and look at 270 degrees. I'm marking like the corner of my couch. So it's gonna look like this. Shoulders open. Notice that my eyes are leading the way for the whole entire rotation. So my eyes actually spot the landing before the rest of the body goes. So now when it comes to 360, all we're gonna do is up the intensity a bit, and then we're gonna make sure our eyes are completing the 360 first. So let's watch this. Lead shoulder open, 30 degrees, throwing. Notice how my eyes looked at you guys first and immediately. The reason why we wanna do this, guys, is if we are scared and nervous, we're gonna take our head and our eyes, we're gonna look down at the ground, we're gonna slow our rotation, we're gonna put our body positions in a less ideal position. It's gonna make it way harder. But if I'm able to keep my chest up, my eyes looking where I'm going, look how my body's naturally stacked. More importantly, as I spot the landing, I'm able to know how much more do I need to rotate. When I do a backside 360 on a 50-foot jump, I need to know how much more I'm rotating. So do I need to slow the rotation down? Do I need to speed it up? But I want to use the same principles of how hard I throw it and where I look, whether it's a 5-foot jump or a 50-foot jump. So for us, the whole goal is to be able to do this on our snowboard. So right now, if you're following along, I want you to strap in your snowboard, pause this video, go put your boots on, go grab your snowboard. Let's go ahead and translate this to an actual snowboard. All right, so after you strapped your snowboard on, a couple things I want you to do is go back through and do a backside 180 with your snowboard on, focusing on winding up, throwing, and making sure that you're jumping and landing in the same place. After you've done the 180 and you're ready to move on to the 270, what I like to do is mark a spot on the wall or look at something and then wind up, throw, and then immediately look for that spot. And then once you're feeling pretty awesome about that, go ahead and attempt the 360. Now, I will admit that doing a 360 on your snowboard at your house is extremely challenging. So I don't want you to get discouraged if you're unable to get that around. Because think about when you actually translate this to snow, holy cow, you're gonna have so much more hang time, so much air, that it's not gonna be as challenging. But as long as you get the fundamentals down here with the 180 and the 270, you're winning. And you can practice this without your snowboard. You can even grab a snowboard addiction board and practice them as well. So like I said, don't get discouraged if you're unable to get the 360. Think about how this can help you dial in your body positions and take that as a win. So that is our video with the backside 360. If you're digging the content at any time, definitely give it a thumbs up. Also, I'm going to be making more of these at-home videos. So I'm gonna be doing nose blocks, tail blocks. I'm gonna be doing nose presses and tail presses and frontside variation. So I'm gonna be dropping these videos every single Friday. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those videos. Also, if you're struggling with a specific video, a specific trick, if you have any questions when it comes to snowboarding, I go live on YouTube every single Tuesday to do a live Q&A, chat with you guys. So it's a great opportunity for you to get your questions answered immediately on the spot. So go ahead and check that out. That is going to be linked in the description down below as well. So every Tuesday I go live at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and I drop videos on Friday. All right, guys. So on that note, we're going to end it there. That has been fun. Keep killing it. We're out.